This is incredible. Mr. Ayer, you called Jeff Jensen, a 20-year career prosecutor, a political crony. By the way, you care to say into the microphone what you mouthed at me earlier when you'd gone over 2 minutes past your time?
I didn't mouth anything at you, Congressman.
Well, you just showed your lack of credibility, both with Thornburg and people that have followed, has real basis in fact. And in fact, rarely have we had anybody with the chip you have on your shoulder come before us. Thornburg said he believed that you were really never around. He said, Bill Barr was and I'm quoting, the first deputy I had, and that came when I was 2 years into the job. Anyway, I understand you got fired by Thornburg. In fact, he said, Ayer proved, this is in his book, Ayer proved to have exaggerated notions of his responsibility to resent my confidence in Ross Runkle and Murray Dickman. Soon developing a serious chip on his shoulder, he began taking actions independent of or in conflict with my wishes. Once he sent a letter to Boyd and Gray containing recommendations for corporate sentencing guidelines I'd not even reviewed. Ayer's resignation was announced on May 11th. Bill Barr succeeded him and proved to be the deputy I had needed from the beginning. So I can understand why you'd be resentful 30 years later, but at some point, hopefully, Mr. Ayers will get over his chip. And the fact that Mr. Zelensky, I was going to ask him questions, but, and I understand family matters. And by the way, I'm grateful to my wife for sticking with me for 42 years today. And there are family matters. Yeah, she's a lot more fair than we're getting around here. But so 42 years. Thank you, Kathy. Some of us have family matters too that are very pressing, but this is very pressing too. And I won't try to compare those. But Mr. Barr has come and testified, and he's coming again soon. So statements that he wouldn't come here, they're just not true. And you know what? I've not heard anybody, any of these three Democrat witnesses, express any concern for the Justice Department under President Obama going after local law enforcement. Why? Because in the opinion of the Justice Department, they have violated people's civil rights. And A.G. Barr had that same concern, that people's civil rights were being violated by governors or local authorities. And if he had no right to say anything, then the Justice Department under Obama had no right to pursue local law enforcement either. But I guess it just, again, testifies to the credibility or the lack thereof of the people that have been brought before us. It is absolutely incredible that people could come in here and after the Justice Department, the FBI, including the FBI, Intel, top people, even DOD was paying Stephen Halper. All these people were involved in trying to prevent a Republican from becoming president. And these three witnesses don't have any problem whatsoever with that. History will not judge you kindly in the days ahead, whether we get to continue this little experiment in self-government or not, because you have been an accomplice after the fact to what has occurred in the Justice Department, and you are so biased you cannot even see it. So I don't have a lot of questions for people who don't have credibility, have chips on their shoulders. Mr. Elias, for heaven's sake, you come in here with your complaints. It's a shame we don't have a serious hearing. It's just a sideshow, and it ought to be called for what it is, and that's why I am. And if we're concerned about justice, we need to get after the people that created the injustice through the last administration, and I yield back. And Hank, I don't have any problem with you doing that.